So I know that starting out can feel a bit overwhelming, right? You're excited to make an impact, but you're also wondering, how do I actually get my first clients? Well, in this video, I'm sharing exactly what I did in my first few years as a health coach to build my practice and start helping people transform their health and wellness. So grab a notebook and let's dive in. So I do want to say that when I launched my practice 14 years ago, life was different. It was way before the pandemic. There was much more happening on the local side of things and in person. And so my focus wasn't solely on social media, but I definitely did some of that. And as I look back, I really did take the throw spaghetti on the wall to see what sticks approach. As you may know, I graduated initially from IIN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and through the course, they offered a ton of great marketing ideas, which I implemented as they recommended. I also have a background in PR and marketing, so this aspect of things came fairly naturally to me. I just wanted to put myself out there in any way possible to connect with as many people as possible so that I could build my network and get those clients. So the first thing I did was I focused on local networking. And no, this wasn't about being salesy. It was really about building real, meaningful connections. I joined a local breakfast networking group where I delivered my elevator pitch each week, and I got to explain what a health coach was. And this was a referral-based group where I got my very first 3 clients. I also attended wellness fairs, and I showed up with a clipboard so that folks could sign up for a free discovery session with me and also get on my newsletter list. And then I also attended other local networking groups in the evenings during special occasions to meet other solopreneurs to expand my reach. My goal was really to show people the value that I could offer, make those personal connections, and I always made sure that I got people's email addresses so that I could follow up with them to offer those free discovery calls. The next thing I did was I did absolutely lean into social media as well. In the beginning, I absolutely was starting from scratch with a very small following, but I created those business profiles on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And definitely for me, I focused mostly on Facebook to start. I created a Facebook group, and I built up that community over time by being consistent and authentic. I consistently posted tips, I engaged with my audience, and one of the biggest tips that I've learned about social media over the years is to always have that call to action. For me, it was always inviting folks to book that discovery call, and then I'd take it from there, and that's where the real sort of magic would happen in that conversation. Another crucial thing I focused on was building my email list. I wholeheartedly believe that email marketing is one of the best ways to connect with potential clients, and I honestly feel it has the best conversion rate. It's where the majority of my clients have come from over the last number of years. And the first step that I took in building my list was to reach out to my personal network of family and friends and acquaintances about my new coaching practice. And I asked them if they wanted to follow along my journey. And if they said yes, I added them to my email list. After that, I was continuously gathering those email addresses, adding people to my list, and building it slowly, person by person over time. I also created a freebie, and I posted that everywhere that I possibly could in social media to offer that free content in exchange for those email addresses. And I was dedicated to emailing my list at least once a week. So I really believe that building an email list has the most bang for your marketing buck or for your time. Another cool thing that got me some great connections back then was through a running group that I was part of. I got an opportunity to be part of a community initiative that was related to our local marathon. They'd reach out to local businesses and invite their employees, who are basically non-runners or couch potatoes, to join a team, and they get support to train for and run the 10K event during the marathon weekend. Well, they invited me on board to talk about nutrition and provide support to the members of the team on how to fuel properly and train to run the race. Through this group, I met a guy who worked for our local newspaper, and then he invited me to write a weekly column on health and wellness, which I ended up getting paid to do for over 3 years. And at the end of every column that I wrote in that newspaper, I gave my email address for folks to reach out and book their free discovery call with me. This got me a lot of great clients way back in the day. The other thing I did was I offered free workshops and classes on health and wellness topics that I was passionate about. I actually rented out space at local community centers. I attended and spoke at different women's weekends and retreats. And I reached out to community groups and I let local businesses know that I was available to give lunch and learns or wellness talks. I also partnered up with a local well-known chef in our city, and we did a series of cooking classes together. And my husband, who is an osteopath and is also very interested in nutrition, he and I did a series of workshops at our local farmers market. He would also send out all of my events and offerings to his email list, which probably can't be done today, but that generated a lot of great clients for me back then. I also partnered up with local yoga and dance studios, and we offered various cleanse offerings together. So these opportunities all gave me a chance to showcase my knowledge, my approach to health and well-being, and to get in front of new potential clients and make those new connections. And I always had my trusty clipboard there to gather email addresses. And of course, these events weren't just great for getting those clients and connections, they also really helped to boost my confidence as a coach, as a speaker, and as a facilitator. So those are some of the key things I did early on to gain exposure, to put myself out there and get those clients. So just as a recap, I did professional networking groups, I used social media, I tapped into my own personal network, I built my email list and I nurtured it, I gave workshops and talks, and I generally was all about finding those opportunities to get in front of new potential clients and then following up with them with that offer of the free discovery call. And that's then when we'd make those connections and I'd really invite them into my coaching program. And so if I could leave you with one piece of advice as I reflect back on all of this, it's be patient, stay consistent, and lead from that place of service. Your first clients are definitely out there and they are waiting for you to show up. And so I hope that by hearing my story and what I did to get started has inspired you to get out there and start making some new connections. You really never know where those first clients might come from. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more tips and tutorials. And I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Did any of these ideas inspire you? What might be the first step that you're going to take to put yourself out there as a health coach? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.